Today is April 9th, day 10 in Chicago, and day 1 in the hospital. We had orientation today, which was awesome. We left this morning at 6:15. Well, at least got on the bus. We didn't. They're still trying to get like the whole process down of everything of getting us to the convention center and checked in properties and all that. And they give us each a wristband based off of like what our specialty is. So we probably left here around like 6:45 and then got to the hospital, the convention center, and started orientation around 7:30, which was, we had not the actual mayor, but like her like chief of staff came and talked to us, and the doc who, if you've been watching the news at all in Chicago, the doc who is in charge of the whole program. I cannot remember his name right now. But he's got like the brownish hair, tall, skinny, probably like in his late 60s. So he talked to us, and then we kind of just got like a basic rundown from the head docs. So we have like a couple pulmonologists who are like internal medicine crit care, and a couple hospitalists, and then they're kind of like running the operation, and then I think the rest of the docs are just kind of scattered in what their specialties are. I know it's kind of just, they called on to whoever could come in, and all of them are young. Like there's maybe like one older doc, but other than that, like they all seem pretty young and healthy. So yeah, and then we toured the facility, which is crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I took a really cool video. Not exactly. You can't really. That's okay. But yeah, here, and then this. There's a picture of all my friends. Well, the ones that are in orientation with me. This sucks. You really can't see it at all. Sorry. But yeah, so so there's 3 long bays. It's like A, B, and C, and then in each bay, it's like there's like 14 sections, and there's 14 beds, I think. So 7 on one side, 7 on the other side. So it's like A2, and then the rooms are A11, A12, A13, and then for the next one, A21, A22, and then it's like B and C. So the way it's going to be staffed is there's going to be, I think it's 2 nurses per 14 beds with a CNA. Each CNA has 10, so I think it'll be a couple of CNA. It'll be 3 CNAs for 2 of those. And then each provider is going to take up to 30 patients for the day. But given these patients are like, it sounds really scary. I know that number is like, holy shit. But for right now, we're functioning more as like an extended stay care unit. So it's like kind of your most basic med-surg patients who they just need a couple more days. They're on like the criteria. Here, I wrote all this down. I don't know if anyone's actually really interested in this, but I think it's good to have for myself. So COVID positive patients between the ages of 18 and younger than 80. They are on 2 liters of oxygen or less. They're ambulatory. They've had to have 24 hours stable vitals. They could not have been in sepsis within the past 24 hours. Can't be immunocompromised. We won't take any mental health patients, no addicts, and no BMI greater than 40, which I thought was interesting. But I think just the size of our beds, like we don't have bariatric supplies and beds and all that. So I think that's probably why they're doing it that way. So yeah, so the 30 patients and like the charting system, it's epic, but it's like streamlined. It's like cut down to like the bare minimum of what we're going to be charting on, just because the government just kind of got all these exceptions for us, and we're not billing anyone. So it's like charting our basic SOAP notes, but we're talking like the exam is just the most minimal exam that you'll chart on probably like ever. like super focused and basic. So it's like the charting won't take very long, and they're already coming over from the hospital with kind of an order set. And then we just have to implement the order set and then change anything that we need to as they're there. The patients are supposed to be there between 3 and 5 days. So pretty short stay, but we'll see. We were joking about it. We're probably gonna have a code on like the first day. Like they're gonna send us some patient who just tanks on us right away, just because it's not like set up for that right now. But so yeah. And then, so I said 30 patients, but they're not all going to come at once. So we're supposed to officially, hopefully, open on Monday, is what we got told in orientation, that's when they're going to start accepting patients. I mean, we're still waiting for some supplies to come in. Like, the computers are there for the nurses to chart on, but we're waiting for the iPads for the providers to have. And that's what we chart on, and then how we communicate with each other is through the iPads. And so, yeah, and then there's kind of like a couple different roles. Like I could be on the rapid response code team, which I'm hoping to get on actually, because that would be sweet. So then I would be part of the team who responds to any of that. And then you could be kind of the admission provider. So it's kind of like command is outside of like, so it's crazy, the building. I guess I'll start kind of from the basics. So when you go into it's this one hall. And so it's set up like any other convention center where you have like a bunch of different halls. And when you go into this hall, they're building negative pressure rooms, so to keep the virus completely in that hall. So where all of the beds are will be infected, and then it's sterile, non-infection outside of there. So you go in one side, we go in, don all our PPE, and then when we leave, we go out the other side, and that's where we take everything off. And then like we are going to use the same goggles every day, and which makes sense. They're reusable, and we wipe them down. It sounds like we get one P95 mask per day as of now, and then we'll be double gloving, and then, which is crazy because like when I was in nursing school, double gloving was not okay. And now it's like totally fine. So it's like we'll take off anytime like we have to go to the bathroom or something, we'll take off the one layer, hand sanitize the first layer, and then put new gloves over if you get soiled or something like that from a patient. But yeah, it's crazy. So kind of going in and out, and then our break room is in like the sterile non-viral part. So we go in street clothes, put on scrubs, get our PPE on, go in, and then we're not allowed any food or water in there because they don't want us taking off our masks or anything. So they're kind of going to try to implement 2-hour breaks for everyone, where it's like every 2 hours you're at least going out for 15 minutes to like chug water, it sounds like. But we're going to be, because it's going to be so hard to go to the bathroom if we're like having to stay in that same gown all day, except for like our break. I don't know. I think I'm going to be dehydrated the whole time just so I don't have to pee, because I do have a tiny bladder. I go pee all the time. And I chug water. So hopefully I'm going to come back all crusty and wrinkled and dry. But yeah, so I totally just sidetracked on water. So command is where kind of like all the head people are going to be, and it's like little office space. And they get a call from the hospitals when they want to do admission. If they meet their admission criteria, then the position that I can do is be an admission NP. And I would be, when the patients arrive from the hospital via transport, they would come and I would admit them into our facility and go through all their orders, med rec, do a quick exam, make sure they actually are stable enough to be at our facility. And then when they come in, they automatically get taken to shower or get a bed bath. Like they have to be cleaned up in our scrubs, and then they're there until we deem fit for discharge. So it sounds like we're kind of in that waiting phase of weaning people off oxygen when they kind of, it sounds like, I don't know if we'll have a lot of people who don't have like homeless people or coming from like skilled nursing facilities, stuff like that, where they need to they have to do their kind of full quarantine, to be asymptomatic before they go back to their facility. I think that's going to be our role, except we're not taking anyone over 80. So that kind of like narrows that window down a little bit more, which is interesting. But yeah, so I think it's going to be pretty good. I mean, I think it sounds like kind of for now the medicine's going to be pretty mellow, so fast. So it's like you can, and they're like, oh, we're not going to send them to you. Like they're going to be past that phase of turning like south. But it's like, it's healthcare. Like things get through the cracks pretty easily. And when the hospitals get overwhelmed, they're just going to want to like give us patients. So I know at least one hospital was on divert here already today. It sounds like most of their ICUs are full in the area, but they transformed some of their floors into ICU beds. So as of now, I don't think I know all of the hospitals aren't on divert, but hopefully, hopefully they don't, because that means people aren't getting sick. But realistically, that's just not realistic for kind of the way we're headed right now. But we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, so we kind of like tomorrow we have a little more computer training, and then it sounds like we probably are just chilling over the weekend because we're not seeing patients until Monday. So unless they structure further orientation, then that's that. I mean, the big thing is they're just trying to finish. I mean, they still are finishing that entryway with the negative pressure rooms. So they're still doing some construction. Like, yeah, all the beds and stuff are set up. But there's still a lot that needs to finish over the weekend, I think, before we can see patients. But it definitely feels good to, like, starting to be active. Not helping people yet, but we're getting there. It'll be interesting, though. So it sounds like then for me with 30 patients, and if they hopefully they'd try and keep like the providers in the same kind of like bay too, just so then we have like the same CNAs and nursing staff for all our patients. I'd be surprised if they didn't do it that way. It wouldn't make sense if they don't. So then I would have at least 5 people under me, and then patients. So, but yeah. Oh my gosh, the funniest part about today though, oh my gosh. So when we first came here, they took a picture of us and I thought it was our badge photo, but I think it was just our photo for the staffing company. But they had us take selfies for our badges. So we're I mean, there's probably like 150 of us there today, are all like up against these white walls, like snapping selfies of ourselves. It was pretty funny. And sending over, and those were our badge shots. But yeah, so, and I had to order new shoes. So I normally wear like tennis shoes at work, just like some New Balances that are comfortable and good for walking. And those shoes though are porous. So I had to buy shoes that aren't porous that we can wipe down. So I got a pair of, like, they're not Danskos. There's some brand that kind of look like Danskos, but they're bright pink and they're sweet. So those are on their way to me right now. So then I'll have shoes that I can wipe down. And then I'm thinking, like, well, if I can wipe them down, I haven't decided yet if I'll take them home or not. But I was planning on just trashing the tennies I bought with me for this assignment. But now it looks like I'll just be trashing that pair that I buy. But yeah, so I don't know. What else did I do? We had orientation until about like 3-ish today. I've been doing so good on like eating really healthy while I've been out here. And then I gave in tonight. I just wanted something like warm and cozy. So I ordered last minute like Thai food, and I'm such an idiot. So I ordered the Thai food, and I put gluten free because I wanted to make sure they gave me the rice noodles. And so I just like clicked on the gluten free option, which when you get pad thai and click on gluten-free option, gets rid of like all the like sauce, all the good stuff. So it was just like noodles, chicken, bean sprouts, carrots, and onion, like sauteed. I think I don't even, probably just like some olive oil with like maybe some vinegar I don't know, like, and then I just like squeezed the lime they gave me, but definitely wasn't the pad thai I was expecting. But it was still warm, so it felt good in my belly. But yeah, that's what you get for trying to get rice noodles. Just like rice, can't help it. Um, oh, and then also Tam, one of my best friends from college. She's a nurse also, so she does pediatric ICU. She sent me this look happy box. How cute is that? And then it had all these like cute little supplies in it, and like I hung up. Like it came with like some little tassely things that I hung up to make my room look a little more happy. But isn't that so sweet? She's just the sweetest. I can't even. People have been so supportive of me just like being out here. I mean, I haven't been working and people are just like so supportive still, which is so sweet. But yeah, a little happy box. Can't even. So yeah, what else? Oh yeah, and then someone donated our lunches for today. It was from this store, one of the just like local restaurants, and at the facility, and they wrote all of us like little notes. A strong soul shines after every storm. Oh, how profound! But like so sweet. Like just people are just really appreciative and trying to help when they can. So that was cool. But yeah, so they definitely are going to be feeding us while we're there. And we'll just be on lockdown and just like a COVID. I can't even like that. I mean, I don't know. Like, so I played club volleyball growing up and went to these power tournaments at these convention centers. So like what I'm used to seeing in convention center is just sport court, volleyball net, volleyball net, and like surrounded by big netting to like keep the balls in the one court. And to think that like that's what it used to be, and now it's going to be this like infection zone where COVID's just like in the air. It's like, damn. I think a lot of us, I mean, I hopefully a lot of us don't get sick, but like in reality, like in a setting like that, I think a lot of people are going to get it. And like this is like bad of me to say, but like there's some really unhealthy people here, like staffing wise, like a lot of smokers, like vapors, and none of them are providers. I don't know any of these people, but I see them out every day, like all the time, like smoking and like obese, and it's like these people, like some of them are like really high risk. So it's like I hope like just it's a little nerve wracking. Like luckily, like I'm healthy and have no underlying like conditions, like not even like a like stint of like asthma at all. So, but like they're not. I'm like a little worried about some of the people here because we are gonna be in just like an infested infection zone, just viral particles everywhere. Ugh. But yeah. Well, I feel like I've gone on for a while. I don't know. Oh, also, I found this. Someone left this hand sanitizer on the bus, so I snagged it because it was just sat hand sanitizer, and everyone was already gone, and I didn't know. I only know the NPs and PAs. I didn't know anyone else on the bus, so they lost. My gain, I guess. And we're not always on that. This is like orientation group is completely different than the bus who we're going to be going in and out of work with. So, hand sanitizer from me. That's what you get for not paying attention to your stuff. Man, am I losing it hanging out with myself too much. But yeah, really good day. It was active and I did some yogs and yeah, that's about it. So I will have more updates as they present themselves, but tomorrow I'm not going in. Tomorrow I just have like online training. It's like webinars for charting stuff. That I can kind of do whenever throughout the day after there. And read my book and just hang out in Chicago. So sweet. April 9th, day 10. Shoot fire. We are cruising. That's awesome. Sooner I get this over with, sooner I can come home. But help people first, hopefully. So, all right. Well, love y'all. Smooches.